My ex-wife's parents pleaded with me to see their dying daughter, the same woman who destroyed me with her betrayal. But what I said to her in that hospital room shifted everything forever. I'm 34 now. Her name was Jessica, Jess to everyone who loved her. We were together 7 full years, married for 2 of them. We held off on kids on purpose. We wanted to be solid, debt-free, ready, responsible adults, or so we told ourselves. For a long time, everything looked perfect from the outside. After our 2nd anniversary, we finally decided it was time to start a family. That's when the tiny cracks I'd been ignoring started spreading faster than I could patch them. I missed every warning sign because I didn't want to see them. She began staying out later, glued to her phone, giving vague excuses about work drinks or girls' nights. I felt the distance growing, but I swallowed it. You don't marry someone if you don't trust them, right? I kept telling myself that. Then came the night everything shattered. She said she'd be home late again. I couldn't shake the sick feeling in my stomach, so for the first time in our entire relationship, I did something I'm still not proud of. I went through her phone while she was in the shower. The messages with Derek work were right there. Hundreds of them. Plans, photos, things no married woman sends to another man. My whole world collapsed in the space of 30 seconds. When she walked out of the bathroom, I just held the phone up. She didn't even try to lie. She crumpled, sobbed, kept repeating, "I never meant for it to go this far." As if cheating has an off switch you flip by accident, I told her that night the marriage was over. She begged, cried, promised therapy, swore it was a mistake. I didn't care. Trust was the one thing I could never rebuild. Cheating is my hard line. Always was. Thanks to the ironclad prenup, I insisted on best decision I ever made. The divorce was quick and clean. She walked away with almost nothing. I kept the house, the savings, everything we'd built. She tried everything, showing up crying, calling at 3 a.m., sending mutual friends to plead her case. I changed my number, moved, and disappeared from her life completely. 3 years went by. I rebuilt. Therapy helped more than I want to admit. I dated casually, focused on work, learned how to be alone without being lonely. Jess became a scar, not an open wound. Then one ordinary afternoon in the grocery store, I ran into her parents. Susan spotted me first. Her eyes filled instantly. Tom looked like he'd aged 20 years. Before I could escape, Susan was hugging me, sobbing into my shoulder, telling me Jess had been in a horrific car wreck. She was in the ICU, critical condition, and it would mean the world if I came to see her. I stood there frozen. Compassion for the woman who ripped my heart out. I told them, as calmly as I could, Jess stopped being my responsibility the day she chose another man in our bed. Susan started in about forgiveness and healing. Tom muttered the classic, "Everyone makes mistakes." Something inside me snapped. I told them, maybe too loudly for the cereal aisle, that their daughter could rot for all I cared, and that they'd spent years enabling her instead of holding her accountable. Then I walked away while Susan sobbed into Tom's chest. Word spread fast. My dad called furious, saying I embarrassed the family. My sister Emma showed up at my door with the whole "be the bigger person" speech. Half my friends thought I was heartless, the other half high-fived me. Then my dad came over, red-faced, yelling about respect and decency. In the middle of his rant, he let something slip that floored me. 35 years ago, my mom had cheated on him early in their marriage. He forgave her, stayed, built a life anyway. Suddenly everything clicked, why he was so desperate for me to let it go. He saw his younger self in me and wanted me to make the same choice he did. I looked him in the eye and said, "I'm not you, Dad. I'm never going to be you." We didn't speak for weeks. Then one night a text from an unknown number. "It's Jess. Can we please talk?" I should have blocked it. Instead, I answered. She said the accident had woken her up, that she was drowning in regret, that she just needed 5 minutes to apologize properly before. Well, she didn't finish the sentence. I ignored her. She kept texting. Then she started contacting my family. My mom called in tears. The doctors had given Jess days, maybe a week. Internal bleeding they couldn't stop. She was dying, and the only thing she wanted before she went was to see me and say she was sorry. I sat on it for days. Rage, pity, exhaustion, all of it swirling together. One sleepless night I got in the car with no destination and somehow ended up in the hospital parking lot at 2 a.m. I stared at the building for an hour, cursing myself the whole time. Finally, I walked in, signed the visitor log, and took the elevator to the ICU. When I pushed open the door, she looked tiny in the bed, machines beeping, tubes everywhere. She turned her head slowly and saw me. Her face crumpled. "You came," she whispered, voice raspy from the ventilator. I didn't sit. I just stood at the foot of the bed. She cried quiet, broken tears, nothing like the dramatic displays I remembered. She told me she was sorry, that she'd destroyed the best thing that ever happened to her, that she'd give anything to go back and choose differently. She said she didn't expect forgiveness. She just needed me to hear it from her mouth while she still had breath. I listened. When she finished, there was a long silence. Finally, I spoke, calm and clear. "I don't hate you anymore, Jess. I did for a long time, but I'm done carrying that. I'm not giving you forgiveness because you're dying. I'm letting it go because I'm tired of letting you live rent-free in my head. You don't get to take any more of my peace." She closed her eyes, tears sliding into her hair. "Thank you for coming," she managed. I nodded once, turned, and walked out without looking back. In the elevator down, I felt something shift, like a weight I'd dragged for 3 years finally dropped off my shoulders. I didn't forgive her for her sake. I released her for mine. I got in my car, rolled the windows down, and drove home through the quiet city feeling lighter than I had in years. That chapter is closed. Permanently. And for the first time since the night I found those messages, I can finally breathe. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.